lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Oh, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Faith in God. Faith in God is a topic that is very paramount for every Christian. We talked about causing your faith to grow. Your faith needs to grow. My faith needs to grow. All the while that we live on earth, our faith needs to be handled with care, because it is the only conduit through which we connect with God. When it is weak faith, circumstances come against us, and then we are not able to rise against them because our faith is weak. When our faith is not watered to grow, then we remain at a particular level as Christians. We don't grow to the level that God expects from us. What is the other thing that causes our faith to grow that we can practice in our lives? We talked about meditation last time, that you allow the Word of God to replay in your mind. You employ the agency of listening to audio music, listening to situations, things that will cause the Word of God to replay in your mind. The other thing that you can do simply, and it's something that every Christian needs to be practicing every day of their lives, is found in Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, that the book of the law shall not depart from people's mouth. Employing the discipline of studying the Word of God. Employing the discipline of digging in the Word of God. You may not sometimes get things that are revelational. Probably you have a preacher or a teacher whom you always are inspired when you hear them speak, because they seem to see things in the Bible that you cannot be able to see. And sometimes you have this hunger and passion. When you go to the Bible, it looks like it has zipped itself, it has closed itself. You only know the elementary things that people see, the normal stuff that any child in a Sunday school will be able to know. But you see, the Bible has a way in which it chooses you. It chooses you on the basis of how you approach it. And we talked about this in one of the videos. When your attitude is that of humility and you desire to yearn to know God, so that you may become like Him, so that you may change your life to become like Him, that's where the Bible starts to open itself up to you. And studying the Word of God every day is one of the agencies that causes our faith to grow. You see, the more of the Word of God you have, the more of the ways you understand God works. For example, it is very difficult to have faith in God when you do not know that God has given you a promise in the Bible concerning a situation that you're going through. You could be going through sickness, but if you don't know in the Bible it is written that by the stripes of Jesus you were made whole, and then you employ that urgency, it is very difficult to have faith that God is going to heal you. Because on what basis are you having faith? You see how the Word of God is very important in our lives. Every time you study the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, you're able to see how God works. You're able to understand how God steps into situations. You're able to see people who look like you, circumstances that buffeted people that looked similar to yours. And you're able to see how God raised them from those circumstances, brought them out, and that in itself builds your faith. Why? Because you're able to interact with how God interacts with people in the Word of God. And when you're exposed to such agencies, then your faith begins to grow. You are able to now trust God and dare Him for even greater things. You are able now not to be scared that the enemy has come and visited your home because of the circumstances that surround you, the evidence of the signs of the finger of the devil. You're not scared because you're able to know that God has given you power and authority from studying. You're able to know that you can be able to command the mountain and be cast into the sea from studying. It is from studying that you're able to understand the principles, the promises, the things that God has laid bare for us as believers that we can employ as agencies to cause us to succeed. But when you don't study, your faith remains at that level where you know you are saved. And when you remain at that level in this kingdom, one of the things that you need to know is that if you don't grow, you don't stagnate, you die. If you don't grow, you die. There is nothing like stagnation. Stagnation, what you will refer to as stagnation, is actually backsliding. You are supposed to constantly grow, and your faith is supposed to be the agency that causes you to grow. It is through your faith that you will experience every other thing that you will ever want to experience with God. You want to see God, it is through faith, and the faith needs to grow. You want to see miracles in your life, it is through faith, and that faith needs to grow according to the level of the miracles that you want to see. You want to succeed in life, it is through faith as you study the Word of God, and as you expose yourself to the principles in the Word of God, and as you engage them, then you grow as your faith grows. What I'm saying is that the other agency that we need to employ in our lives to ensure that our faith is stable and it's on an upward trajectory is that we need to be people who study the Word of God. I encourage you that employ the agency of studying the Word of God. It grows your faith. The first one was meditating. What you have studied, the verse, you pick it and then you meditate on it until it becomes solid. This second one is basically just studying, understanding God, studying with the aim of knowing who God is and how He operates and what He stands for and what He doesn't like and what He likes, and then checking your life to flow in that manner. Then you're able to employ the resources that are within the Bible for our use as Christians. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Have a wonderful evening tonight.